sugar. It's your girl Risa, coming to have a little chit chat with you guys. I did a little get ready with me video this morning and thought I'd come back and just shoot the breeze with y'all. Show y'all a few things, talk a little bit, share a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of all of that. Yeah, so I'm in my little spot. I got some time to myself. My girls went to pick my oldest son up from work, so they took Shorty doo-wop with them. And then my two baby girls are in the bed. They have school in the morning. They have to be to school by 8:30. But the both of them are now patrol members. Yes. They wear these little orange sashes, say patrol, meaning they help the kids, exit the car in the morning and get in the car. They also help them, they patrol the hallways and they help them cross the street. They let the flag up in the morning. They take the flag down and do all kind of stuff. The Pledge of Allegiance, all kinds of things they do. Kind of like a crossing guard, but, you have to have a certain GPA and you have to have, I guess, a recommendation from a teacher or somebody like that to actually do it. And both of them got it. So today we went and picked them up from school. Well, Janae went to pick them up. She walked up there to get them. So she called back home and said she didn't see them. This was well after 4 o'clock. So we jumped in the car and we went up there because Dad had just got home. And so we picked Janae up on the way. We get up there and we saw Jalen coming down the street. And y'all know I got nervous. I only see one of them. And so I got out and walked into the school to find Mia. She was there doing patrol duties, which right now they're in training. So she don't have her patrol belt yet, but they're in training. And Jalen didn't know she was supposed to stay. So starting tomorrow, they have to be to school by 7:50 to do their training and all of that. And Mia is bossy anyway, y'all. That's going to be right up her alley. She's so excited about it. And so they in the bed because I told them, I said, look, y'all have to be on time or they'll kick you off your patrol duties. So I say, that means when I say get up in the morning, you got to get up because Mia does not like to get up in the morning. Oh, no, ma'am. She be whining. Oh, sleeping. And that's the one don't like to go to sleep at night. Yeah. She's a night owl like I am. Yes, she is. Y'all, I got this scar on my chest from a breakout, a bug bite. And it does my skin like that. I got one here. Them darn flea bites. And they turn into they leave little marks. You see them 3 right there? But this one right here, I've been putting makeup on it to try to cover it up. It look terrible. Yeah, it do. But anyway. Let's see. Where there's a will, there's a way. It did a little better. Just a little bit. But anyway, so yeah. That's what they're doing. We have a Blue Crab Festival coming up. The end of the month. Memorial Day weekend is coming up. So not sure what we're going to do. We're going to see what all is going on in our cities. Then we'll determine on what we're going to do. But for the Blue Crab Festival, it is in Palatka, Florida. So we're going to, if it's God's will, we're going to drive there just for the day. Just to hang out. It's only maybe an hour away, if that. And, hang out. They have rides and all types of seafood. Anything with blue crabs in it, they'll have it. Boiled crabs, fried crabs, stewed crabs, devil crabs, anything, crab soup, crab bisque, crab legs. So people will be out there selling their dishes, and you purchase what you want to try, and play music and all of that good stuff. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I think a couple of my ladies here that watch me on YT, I think they live down that way, so I'm gonna have to check with them and see, so we can meet up. It rained here today, which was a good thing. Back in the day, not really growing up, but just back in the day, I can remember hating it when it rained. Because, you always had something you wanted to do, and you couldn't get out to do it because you're going to get wet and all of this kind of stuff. And now, child, I'd be like, thank you. Oh, excuse me. There it is. Thank you. Thank you, Lord, for the blessings. Because somebody is getting cooled off. That means somebody ain't out acting straight up stupid all day. I know things still happen, but, when it's pouring down rain in here, we get tornadoes, we get thunderstorms, and our thunderstorms and tornadoes sometimes be worse than hurricanes, because we get the wind and the rain and all of that stuff from it, and it floods in certain areas, like this part of Florida called Black Creek. Baby, when I tell y'all it rains, if it rains for a full day, I guarantee you it's going to be up to your knees or more. Yeah, it just floods like that. So yeah, and it rained today, and I mean it was boom, 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 boom. I mean just thunder. Yes, I enjoyed it. I don't like the lightning, that thunder, So I get in the bed and cover up when it starts lightning. I just don't like to see lightning. I don't. Never have. So hopefully it won't rain next weekend. And I blew my top today. Corey had a substitute in class as his teacher, and she sent my baby to the office because he wouldn't be still. Y'all, I had a conniption. Do y'all hear me? I did. I had a conniption. I'm going to have to show enough talk to the Lord about that one. I had a conniption. My baby, he just started school. He don't know nothing about the darn office. He don't even know what the office is. And y'all, I went there. I said, you mean to tell me he was that horrible that it's 2 teachers in that class, neither one of y'all could calm him down? Seriously? Okay. So the teacher was already gone for the day, but I got one of the ladies that work in the office, and she talked to me, and I still feel the same way. I feel like I shouldn't have put him in school so early. I feel like I should have done some homeschooling with him. I really do. And I still have the opportunity to homeschool him, but I need to talk to somebody, because it's just some things, I don't know. I got some things on my mind that I'm concerned about. Yeah, because he's starting to pick up bad habits that we don't do around here. And I'm like, where is he getting this stuff from? Certain ways he's starting to act. And Corey's always been, he loves to sing. He can sit still and watch TV all day. Yes, he do his little karate kicks and that kind of stuff, but it's when he's watching TV. But he never do it on anybody. Now he's starting to, he's passing licks in class, and he get to where he's like running around in circles like I'm like, boy, what is wrong with you? My husband was like, I don't like him acting like that. What is wrong with him? He's picking up habits from these kids. And the teacher says she don't have kids in her class to act like that. They have her lying through her teeth. Yeah. And you got a classroom full of boys, and you mean to tell me all the boys in your class behave all day long? I don't believe that. As far as I can pick up this whole house and throw it. I don't. And so my thing is, I'm going and call her tomorrow and let her know how I feel. And I want to come and observe the class and see what's going on. Because if he's showing his behind like that, then we got to come up with something to get him on the right foot. Yeah. I want to see how the other kids behave in that classroom and all of that stuff. Because whether y'all know it or not, you know, from, I guess, the Department of Education and I guess mental health and all of that kind of stuff is concerned, Corey is like a early 3-year-old. Like he's just turning 3. As far as a lot of things, I can't pinpoint exactly what they're talking about, because y'all, they gave me a folder with about 50 pages of an evaluation. I gotta sit down and finish reading it. He gotta yeah, that, but it's certain things he's more advanced in. And so I said, I think he's bored in that classroom, because at the age of 3, Corey could read this whole bottle right here. Okay. Some words, like the word Benadryl, he could read that and spell it. The word despicable me. Despicable. A lot of adults have problems spelling that out. He was 3. I mean, a fresh 3. He turned 3 in March. And I remember Felicia's Loving Her Life. I think I was on video chat or something with her. And he called me. He said, Mommy, come here. And I went in my son's in his room, and he turned the Xbox on. Using that little controller, he actually spelled out the word despicable me. I was like, oh my goodness, this boy just spelled it out to find the movie. Then he exited out, and I turned the phone around so she could see it. And I said, watch this, Felicia. He spelled out Michael Jackson's entire name to find his videos. And that was an early 3-year-old. Okay, so he can read, you know. He knows his letter sounds. He knows his numbers from 1 to 100. It's like his verbal skills. Him being, I think his mind, to me, it looks like his mind is just racing so fast that he can't catch up with it. And so as far as him being able to articulate what he really wants to say, sometimes it's hard for him, you know. And some things you can see an immaturity in him, and some things you don't. He can pick up on words and singing and stuff like that, just like that. You know, sounds, he can hear sounds like the soundtrack to Courage the Cowardly Dog. He can sing the soundtrack. You know, I don't mean the wording part. I mean the musical score part. You know what I mean? So he picks up on things like that. And some things, it's like if he's not interested in it, he's not going to be bothered with it. It's like whatever. You know, like over his head, he'd be like, you know, lights on, ain't nobody home. But he's a smart kid. He really is. And as far as knowing how to hold a pen or a pencil, tracing, when they did his evaluation to see about getting him in school, see if he was ready, they gave him a lot of shapes that he had to trace. And no lie, the evaluator, Corey traced the shapes. She called herself going to show him how to do it. He traced the shapes better than she did. And looking at the paper, they thought what she did was what he did. And she was like, no, that was me. You know what I mean? And just that was the first time, because I never had to sit down and show him things like that. He can see me do something, and then he can automatically do it. Like writing letters, I would write his name. He would take the pen from me, and he would write it. That's how he learned how to write his name. You know, I didn't have to have him to trace lines and all of that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of things he's ahead in. What they said was he has a developmental delay. Oh God, what did they call it? Auditory sensory delay. I don't know what that is. You know, that's what it is. So, you know, yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up. But he never had a problem like that until, which they did tell us, you know, chemo and radiation and things like that can it affects the nervous system. It affects your nerves. It can cause all types of nerve damage. I mean, you never know. You putting a foreign chemical in your body to kill something else off, and it can affect your nerves. And it when he was taking it, it caused his eyelids to droop to the point where, like I have my eyes open, he couldn't do that. He used to look like Mr. Magoo. You know, he can see you, but that's as far as his eyes would get open. You know, it was like that. And his feet would turn purple or blue, whatever you want to call it. He just never had, he wouldn't have any energy. You know, it did get to the point where he didn't talk often. You know, especially when he wasn't feeling good, he used to whine. Not really whine, but just moan. And he'd say, "Mommy, hold my hand." Or he would say, "Mommy, rub my feet." I don't know what it did for him, but it worked. But, you know, so he's got some issues. And I know God got my baby. I know he do. And I pray and I ask God to help me as his mother to help him. And that's what I have to pray for, but I'm not going to have somebody labeling my child as a problem child when I know he didn't start out with that problem, and we're not going to hold on to that problem, you know. So I told the lady, I said, I work with preschoolers. He's in pre-K right now. I worked with pre-K kids for 16 years, okay, or more. Because at one point I was with the preschoolers, and then I would go with the older kids in the afternoon. So I know the differences between children. I know you can't teach children the same way. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to learn how to maneuver when you got a child that's really just out of control in your classroom. Me, myself, I'm a hands-on kind of teacher. I will take you by the hand and hold your hand, or come and have you to sit next to me. You know, if you get to where you beat up on people, or you breaking glass, or you just throwing toys and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, we got to have a conversation with your parents to find out. Or, you know, I'll try to find some way to handle it, because I will sit you down, and I will come, everybody else will play, and I'll have you to come sit next to me, and you won't move. Now, if you get to where you violent and want to hit me and all of that, then at that point, that's when you have a child removed. But this woman say Corey kept making noise, which he be singing, and I told his teacher about that. He Courage the Cowardly Dog soundtrack. That's what he's doing. He likes that. Or Despicable Me. He'll you know, sing the song Happy and all that kind of stuff, but he'll do the music part. He won't sing the words. And so she was saying he was making noise, and he was running around the class, and something else. And I understand it. I guess she just got to the point where she felt like he needed a timeout. Okay, that's why you sit him down and put him in timeout. She sent my baby to the office like he was a problem child. Y'all know that movie Problem Child. You guys to get them out. That's, to me, my experience with children that you have to send out the classroom. You just done had enough. They just disrupted the whole class. They just out of control. And I'm like, call me when you have a problem like that. But come to find out, his teacher wasn't there today. They had a substitute. So maybe, I don't know. It got next to me, y'all. It got me on my collar. I called at school. I was hot as 4 firecrackers on the 4th of July. Do y'all hear me? I was upset. Yes, I was. I told that lady, I said, you keep on. I say, I don't feel like they taking enough time with my baby. I really don't. And I'm his mama. Yes, I feel a certain type of way because he my baby. But I would do that with anybody's child. Y'all don't understand me. Y'all don't know me. I try to treat all children the way as if it was my baby. You know, sometimes kids may have had a hard day at home. You know, that night, mom and dad might have been arguing, or something might have went on. They might have had a nightmare. And they come in and they feeling some kind of way, and they don't know how to tell you what's wrong with them. You know, me myself, I like to, especially when I'm having circle time. If I'm reading a story and I see a child just fidgeting and can't be still, and, you know, want to get up and move around. When I get to, say for instance, if it's when I get to a certain part in where it's going to say somebody's name, or if it's describing like King Jeffrey. Instead of saying King Jeffrey, I will say King and call that child's name to get their attention. Try to do that. I do that, or ask the child to come and read, or I'll make like some little sticks with little colorful things on the end of it, and I say, okay, well, I need you to be my special helper today. Okay, so can you hold my stick for me, please? And that kind of give them something to kind of focus on, to make them sit still, but you got to keep it still while I read the story, because all the things will fall off of it if you continue to move. And so I would do that, or get one that has lights on it or something like that. And every time I say this word, or every time I call your name, you got to hold it up in the air. I would do things like that, especially if I know I got a child that's kind of hyperactive and can't be still, or their attention span is short. Those are things that I would do. Now, that teacher, she might have her own practices, but it's certain things I know, because I used to work in childcare, okay? And when here in Florida, when they opened up voluntary preschool program, that means you had to go and be certified as like a public school teacher to teach that class, okay? Which is what I did. So whatever standards they have for the pre-K teachers in public school, I was held for the same thing. So when my kids in my class, when I teach them and they go on to kindergarten, whatever the kids don't know, they look at me. Okay, they look at me, because there's certain things I'm supposed to teach them. Now, behavior problems, that's not on me. But certain things, we have sight words, and it's a certain amount of sight words and things like that your child is supposed to know when they go to kindergarten. Okay, so yeah, they look at me. All of that fall back on me. And yes, you might have some kids that don't learn. You have to keep going over or find different ways to get that child's attention. Yeah, so I was hot under the collar. All of my days of teaching preschool came back to me, and I was like, yeah, but so yeah, I was a little beside myself. I wasn't doing any cursing, thank you, Lord. But I was upset. I really was. My head went to hurting, because I knew my pressure was up. I was like, no. And the lady was like, well, Mom, you don't have a reason. I said, did you just tell me I don't have a reason to be upset? Did you just say that? She said, well, wait a minute. Let me tell you why I said that. I said, it's the fact that you said it. Okay, you are not in my shoes. I know what my baby is capable of. I know that he can be a handful. I know that he might be up running around the classroom, but they sent my baby to the office like he's a big kid, like he in 3rd or 4th grade or something. That got to me, and I told myself, if that's the kind of practices y'all gonna do, I will take him out of Duval County public schools and put him in private school. Just watch and see. I meant just what I said. We only got a few more weeks of school. And if I get any more complaints like that, he will not be in Duval County Public Schools next year. And if I feel any type of way about it, I'm already home. I'll sit and homeschool him. I sure will. And send him to tutoring after homeschool. I'll find some kind of way. I got to do something. Because I just, I've seen children be labeled as the problem child. I've seen teachers not even try to help children that are considered as problem children. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. Oh, that says unknown name. I don't know who that is. I don't answer those. But I'm going to answer it. Hello? Speaking. Pinky! Girl, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm sitting up here making a video, and I said, "Ooh, that say an unknown name. I don't answer those." And you will see me say that in the video. Hey, Pinkie Pie.